Okay, in this video, I want to talk about 4 things I've noticed about the narcissistic type people that some might think of as little thing, and some might think of as a big thing or medium thing, whatever. I think one of them I mentioned in a way. But yeah, and I'm out of breath because I just did some walking and I have a hurt leg, my left leg, and it's kind of up and down little bitty hills, and I walked further than I usually do, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm pushing myself because of that leg. Anyway, I'll get to these 4 things here in a second. Okay, one of these 4 things, I think a lot of people are going to say, you're wrong, that's fine. Say, I'm wrong. I can accept that I'm wrong. I'm not a narcissist. So, what I have noticed about people who are, they have narcissistic traits. I don't know anybody who's ever been diagnosed, so this isn't a diagnosis. It's just the traits of the way I would see it, and a lot of people see it, I guess, these days. They feel empathy. Now, I know people are going to jump right there and not let me finish and say, they do not feel empathy. You know, there is a spectrum, and one size doesn't fit all, that kind of thing. But the rest of it would be this. For animals, for pets. Okay, you know, I was about to say we humans. Those of us who are not narcissistic, we'll feel, we can feel empathy for pets and for humans. I personally feel that some of them, one size doesn't fit all. Some of them can feel empathy for animals, you know, pets like dogs, cats, and whatever else. I've seen people have other else. And they would feel empathy for them, but not humans, you know. And some people say, yeah, but they had an audience and they knew they had an audience, so therefore they were doing this, that, like that. Still out of breath a little bit, and plus dental work. It doesn't sound right. But yeah, you can sneak up on them. They cannot know that you're there, or they could have done something that later on you weren't there, but later on you find out they did, and it's that they're showing empathy. Some people will say, nope, that's ownership. You know, this is they own this pet. You know, and you can go all the way down that line. My personal experience, my personal view is some of them can show empathy. And here's another thing. It's not only for pets, and I don't like to compare pets and this, but let's separate it a little bit. It's people with disabilities or challenges, I should say. I've seen them show empathy toward them. Okay, and I have someone in my family who is mentally challenged. It's a traumatic brain injury at childbirth. And I've seen people, you know, show empathy, the people that you would think would not show empathy toward any human. That's one of them. I'm not going to say these are not in any order at all. But that's one of them I have seen that a lot of people, I don't know, I want to know if other people have seen this, or they've kind of suspected this, but they want to put it all into they don't feel any empathy whatsoever. Remember, the spectrum, one size doesn't fit all. Okay, and another thing, this is number 2, I have seen that, I think other people talk about it in a different way. I think they call it maybe it's part of the narcissistic smirk, but I think the smirk, they're more talking about around the mouth, the lips and all. I don't know, I could be wrong. I always called it a sinister smile myself. So, yeah. But it's not that. It's the eyebrow. It's always an eyebrow. And what they do is they have an eyebrow. Not everybody that does this is one, you know that. But one eyebrow will arch. You know, just the one eyebrow. You know, you've seen people that can do that. But they're not doing it on purpose. It happens when they're really not interested in what you have to say. They're wanting you to hurry up so they can have the attention focused back on them. And, or they're just not at all interested in what you have to say. It's not about them, so it doesn't matter to them, you know. And it could be considered part of that, I guess. That, you know, I call sinister smile, people call narcissistic smirk or something along that line, yeah. So it could be, yeah. That was number 2. Number 3 is I've mentioned this in the video. It's that the appearance, the dress style, the style of dress, is kind of like that of the, this is cluster B's, that of the histrionic. I wonder if I keep saying that wrong or right, but I need to Google it or whatever. But yeah, they're dressed kind of flamboyant. Yeah. Man, you don't use some words, you lose them. Don't use it, you lose it, But that's the way I mentioned it before. But it doesn't have to be that way. But it's going to be something is going to be different about it. They're not going to try to follow any kind of norm. That's the best way to say a lot of this is not just about the clothing, is it? Some people are going to jump on that too because they say, well, why would you? And yeah, but I'm talking bizarre. A little bit on the bizarre. Sometimes it's mild. Sometimes it's just a little bit on the bizarre side. And they feel, that or they might do something like wear the same thing over and over and over, or they don't want to, some of them, they don't care so much for hygiene, and not wash their clothes, take them out of the hamper. I know there's a stereotype about that, but we're talking beyond. We're talking beyond just the kind of the lazy person, although I have a, question about lazy people in the first place. But yeah, they just go to an extreme. And I did mention that in that video, about histrionics and all. The weird things they might add on to their clothes. And some of us like a little flair. I'm not a flair person. I don't even wear jewelry. I know. I don't wear jewelry. I don't really like wearing makeup, but here where I live, I go outside and it feels like I got trail dust on me just getting in from, the door to my, SUV. So, why? I'm going to have to wipe it off anyway. So that was number 3, was that their clothing, the way they would dress, is usually somehow different. Now, different isn't all bad, but when it's way out there different, yeah, that's, and they're extremes in everything. They have shades of gray in the middle of it, but some people will go to extreme on either direction. Okay. And the last one of the 4 is that they will eat expired food. And some of you are going to jump and say, well, just because it has an expiration date, that we were taught, you were heard, we heard this and that and that. I'm not talking about that. Okay, sure, I don't know does anybody really know how long past the expiration date you can use it? And is it really worth it putting your life in danger? Seriously, have you ever had food poisoning? I have. It's not good. It is really not good. But that's the important part of this is, see, this could be food that's perishable and it's growing a science project in your refrigerator, and they'll say, oh, it's good to just, push that stuff off. Okay, just scrape it off. And what is the root? What is the root of all evil in the first place? It's money. And who are evil people? Narcissistic people, sociopaths, people with narcissistic expression. That's very severe traits, whatever. I'm not here to diagnose. But yeah, the biggest thing is they don't want to waste any money. Okay, and that's how they see it. They see it as wasting money. The rest of the world says, I'm keeping myself healthy. And, it can be just an apple, which is not very expensive, or an orange. What reminded me of was this guy I dated, Michael. I mention him every once in a while. He passed about 10 years ago. But one time, I didn't think of him as a narcissistic type back then, but yeah, after reflection, time away, I can see it. But he had moved into a house, so he actually moved this stuff with him, okay? And for some reason I was there, and I think I was cooking a meal, and I'd known him for a while, probably 2 or 3 years by this time. And I was getting something out of his cabinet, a canned kind of food. And this was the second person, one was a sibling, that had seen this. Canned food that had been expired, let's say, around 7 years or more or less, not much less. Think about it, 7 years of canned food, you know, expired. Really? And I got ticked off at him. I started throwing stuff out and made a thing. And then later on he told me, you don't realize how that made me feel that you said that. I'm saving your life, dude. I actually did save his life more than once. Yeah, that's another story. Basically, he had fallen in his head, and I had to OPC him. Not really OPC. I had to go before a judge and have him OPC. So, because, yeah, that's another story, like I said. That is a rabbit coming toward me. Talk about a squirrel moment. It was a rabbit moment. But anyway, so that's number 4, that they don't want to spend money. And it's not just the expired food thing. Okay, but yeah, they really don't want to spend money on anything. And I did a video about when you're forced to live frugal, and what you find out maybe later on is they got a whole ton of money in the bank. And it could be family, it could be your family you grew up in, and whatever situation it was, or your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, you know, and they're forcing you because they're making you think that they don't, you know, that there's no money and they have plenty, you know. But anyway, the thing about this is these don't have to be people who are narcissists. Remember, there are people who have what they call these days picked up bad behaviors from this narcissistic type. They call them narcissistic fleas. As I say, these are narcissistic flea-bitten varmints. You don't remember that? Flea-bitten varmint? That's hard to say, especially with dental work. But yeah, they might be somebody who's just picked up those bad habits. You know, that when you're forced to live frugal, you're forced to, you know, save everything, and you know, you can't throw it away because, like, if it's your parent, they'll throw a temper tantrum, and you got major consequences to pay for throwing away a 25-cent can of something. Back then, maybe it was 25 cents. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, I think I've just said more. That's the 4. That, like I said, some people might think these are little, some people might think these are big, some in between. I don't know. But if you want to subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you want to watch another video, click one of the rectangles. One of them is a playlist. You'll see how many videos it has in it. You can pick whatever you want. If you want to share on your own social media, feel free to do so if you can. And if you want to like or comment, if you like it, click the thumbs up. If you can still do it even though you can't see it. But and if you want to leave a comment, leave one below. Talk to you on another video.